speaking of tips and tricks, I would definitely say depending. Oh, whoa! You got what? Okay, all right. Well, tip number 1. Hopefully, you guys screenshotted that fast enough to see what was picked up, because I didn't get it. But tip number 2, I'll definitely say wave management and prio objective should be what these teams are focusing on. It's not all about the kills. Oftentimes, we see some of the newer teams try and chase in for the kills, and they lose kind of control of the entire map with that tunnel vision. So I think it starts there. Private, I think we can also, and you can contest to this as well, the draft is definitely what can make or break a team.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen from the first series that it's okay to have a draft. Even the first and second series, it's okay to have a drafting be going for something, but you can't tunnel vision on it to the point that you're ignoring the picks that are out there. Picking a Eve against an Esmeralda, or an Esmeralda gets picked up against your Harith and Matilda. The one thing that I want to make sure, and hopefully that we see here, is focusing on all parts of the timing. Early game, mid game, and late game. That we need to have some security for that in our draft. So often we've seen some of these mid to late game drafts that ignore the early game, and what ends up happening is the early game gets pushed to such a degree that there's no way for the team to be able to make it out from that snowball.
That's an excellent point too, because I remember at a moment in time we were casting over the draft in a previous series today, and we saw the Farza picked up against a more beefier composition, and we were kind of like, oh, I don't think that'll really work out so well. But then it was just the early game pressure that the Farza provided. It was Kong actually that pulled that out, and they were able to dominate. And sometimes it's just that early game pressure. It's like when these teams make mistakes because you're overwhelming them super early in the match. That snowball that we like to see starts to form, and it completely topples over. So, yeah, those are a couple of things that I would say, and alongside yourself, that hopefully we see these teams address as they debut inside of this series, as we are looking at Vendetta up against Team Ego.
Yeah, very interesting. They do let the Joy slip through, which I was going to say, you either have a Gatakacha or possibly a Fredrin that can try to counter that. Gatakacha, on paper, we call it a counter for the Joy, but you need to be pretty precise with your dash to be able to land that taunt onto her, or she's going to make a mincemeat of your back line. I do like having the Harith on there. He's going to be able to dash himself, hopefully maybe dash circles around with the Joy, but very interesting drafts that we have here. We see that the Zeusin was taken off the board, as well as the Kalia and Kimmy. I don't know how many bans I've seen of her, but this is very interesting to see here now as well. And both teams very immediate with their drafts, not taking any time to discuss it. They're like, boom, boom, we got it, boom. All right, and now on to the second banning phase.
Yeah, they are super confident jumping into this draft for sure. And yeah, a couple of the picks on the board. The Valentina, I don't know, man. I feel like it could be a little premature, depending on what gets selected from Ego, because right now you really only have the AOG. I guess if you want to be aggressive and pull out that Ouija Shadow Kill, can work in your favor. But they are banning out a couple of interesting things on the top side. You are seeing Vendetta take out the Lu Yi. We haven't really seen the Lu Yi focused on so far this NACT. It hasn't even been picked. But that element of surprise could definitely be a threat. You know who I'm surprised we haven't seen? The Chip. We haven't seen Chip today.
I actually saw him on the band. That's about it. Lu Yi, one of those picks that Supercush likes to the favor there as well. And there's been a lot of rumors surrounding him. Apparently, he made some bold claims about his maging status. Oh, there's your Chip ban as well. So I'm definitely looking to see if Vendetta is going to be trying to focus around that mid lane. To try to be able to shut that down, or where we have it. A very, very strong lineups coming from both. We were talking about some of those being able to capitalize on all aspects of the game, early, mid, and late, and they're doing a great job through these drafts of doing that.
Yeah, and right now they're trying to pull a card for the mage, right? They picked the Valentina, I'm assuming, to deny the Farza play. Because then you're going to feather the airstrike, which really raises the question, what does Ego go? They're going to pick up the Bruno, though. This will be a little interesting. You know, I know we all remember that Bruno with that malefic gun back in the day and how hard that hit. So to see the Bruno, the heavy nerfs that he's had, you know, in the past and now being picked up again, and I want to see how he kind of fares off. This will be the first Bruno that we see today.
Yeah, they did nerf his range a little. It was a menace to have a Bruno that could hit your tower from outside the tower range. It's absolutely disturbing to play against. And this draft just went so quick. It's so interesting. I feel like both of these teams are very confident in their drafts and what they have here. My big poll out here is how are we going to be able to protect the Sicilian from this Joy as some of these engagements go towards these objectives, because that's the biggest problem with Joy is you're not able to lock her down. We have a decent amount of CC on our side right now. We have the Gatakacha, Sanguine Claws, I don't really want to say are going to catch a Joy, but we also have some CC coming out from Bedang, so it's going to be very interesting to see how these two compositions clash into each other.
And I feel like, well, Vendetta kind of forced that hand with the Sicilian pickup, right? I mean, because traditionally they could have picked out a Farza here, and it would have worked out. But the reason why they didn't pick that is because that Valentina's on the other side, and they can't profit off that Sicilian just as well. But as we jump into our final series of the day with the debut matchup, Vendetta up against Team Ego in a best-of-3.
Yeah, I'm very excited about this match to see how well they perform here and how well that they can coexist with some of that synergy. A lot of eyes on both of these teams. As I talked about before, Vendetta did make it through the top bracket. Team Ego forced down to the lower bracket, but came very strong to secure their spot here in the top 8. Ashley looking for a little bit of vision, trying to get some information for her team. Dez goes in and still able to get the retribution on that Lethal Wanderer.
Yeah, and I'm going to keep a close eye on Ashley and the positioning, the tank mage synergy compared to Team Ego over there with Song and Super Kesh. Song definitely going to be rotating around looking for some great AOGs, but Super Kesh, he's got to play a little bit passive, right? He got to get those stacks. Sicilian getting a little bit of a nerf to where the mid game doesn't pick up as soon as it did before. Not sure how effective it is. I mean, Sicilian is still one of the more prioed mages outside of that Farza that we see traditionally. So right now, I think we're looking at a great draft from both sides, but close eye on Ashley compared to Song.
Yeah, and the thing here is too is how well is that trio of the mid and roam gonna be able to kind of get around some of these lanes here as well. Ooh, coming in with the quad shadow. Song gets caught a little bit of a stun. Ashley able to pick it up, taken down to 10%. Song, is gonna be able to put out that healing.
Yeah, we'll put out that healing. Something interesting to see as well. Yato, he goes in for the quantum charge, so he's going to have that mobility to work in his favor. So we'll have to see the basic attack grants that HP for him as well. So we'll see how this comes into play as the first turtle now on the board and a possible siege.
Oh, Kush is able to pick up that lore, does find the kill on to Death Song, running for the hills, trying to get the security of his towers. In comes Kush, puts up some damage, but no worse for wear. They do find a kill. They do find the first objective, giving them just a slight lead in the gold department.
Hey, man, Kush got a buy one, get one free. He got the kill, and he got the turtle to work in his favor, so they're going to have to watch out for him as this game progresses. He has that temporal rain as well, so he has a lot more CDR on his regular skills, not that ultimate, but it'll make him more effective on this Joy, which we haven't really got to see too much of a showcasing, but we're hear a lot of electrifying beats as this game progresses.
The one thing that Team Ego is going to need to watch out for, especially against a team like Vendetta, if you are giving up some of those objectives, you need to be able to return it in kind. We can't just being slow. You see that Dez was trying to get like a jump on some of his rotations, but we weren't able to punish any objectives. Take out a marksman, take out XP laner, something that makes it worth giving up the turtle. Ooh, Death does take a little bit of damage from that electrifying beat. Speaking of which, we have a lot of damage. Super Cash actually able to find a kill onto Ashley as Yato forced to watch it, tying up the game to 1-1 apiece.
And that's a big play from Super Kesh, especially on the Sicilian, right? He wants to be able to scale through the times, because once he gets to that late game, that's going to be where Super Kesh starts to come online, and that's going to help him get to that target a lot sooner. Right now, neutral objective still in Vendetta's favor. We got to see how the next turtle play goes out, but invasion by Kush.
Yeah, and Kush went in, but it wasn't actually able to get that buff. It looks like Super Kush actually accidentally grabbed it there. I mean, I guess it's better than letting the enemy get the buff of yours, but not really going to be helping out Team Ego with that orange buff being on Kesh.
Yeah, and right now both teams getting ready inside of the turtle pit. Ashley going to wrap around, possibly be that barrier. Does have the glorious pathway to be able to drop down at a moment's notice. Sanguine Claws coming out.
Ooh, Merciless goes in with a demonic force there. Song in a little bit of trouble. We do have a fist crack. Death in trouble. Might be taken out. Kush finds the kill there. Electrifying beats onto the back line. Song goes in. Super Kush finds the kill onto Merciless. Yato with an IMU avatar, the Guardian, and how in trouble. Back and forth under the tower. Super Kush just a little too close to Ashley to be doing too much damage. Sanguine Claws connect. Here comes Des looking for the side split. Is going to have to use that quad shadows to get out. And this is going to be another turtle secured by Vendetta.
Team Ego having a really hard time finding a way into the turtle pit and creating that ground control. Vendetta doing great on their separation and forcing Team Ego to back off.
Yeah, and that's kind of... Ooh, Ashley actually in a little bit of trouble. Might be taking her second death of the game. Does Team Ego now tying it up at 3-3 apiece. Unfortunately, I want to say Ashley checking that bush just a little bit too far. Ooh, actually comes in on the Kush. Is he going to be able to find the kill? Shadow kill is out. And unfortunately for Dez, not able to find the damage.
And on the Hayabusa, the Luigi Shadow kill has been nerfed a little bit. I wonder if prior to that, if that would have been able to hit the mark. But Super catch. 3 kills on the Sicilian. 2 of those is Ashley's fault on this positioning, and she has to be a little bit better on that footing as you're allowing the Sicilian to start to get online a lot earlier than normal.
Well, I want to say her team is just a few steps behind when she goes into a bush. And it's just like a matter of a second that she goes into the bush, immediately gets CC'd and drowned out. And the team just has to be like a half a step better. Ooh, little damage on the Kush. Shadow kill goes on again, and it's still not going to be enough. Is he going to be able to get the kill? Just not yet. Kush dancing a very dangerous game here with Dez, but very secure in his way. Actually up at the top. Oh, he was looking for it, but Dez read it perfectly. Goes in. Another quad shadows on the Kush. Doesn't have the shadow kill just yet and backs off.
Speaking of backing off, rushing in, the 4-man rotation on the bot side decides to disengage as the turtle is going to be spawning in here momentarily. Bats feet's coming out from Super Kesh, and it looks like Vendetta is going to decide to disperse over there on the bot side of the jungle. Turtle now in the game. Who will claim the ground control?
Yeah, and Super Kesh should be getting to a point where his stacks are starting to get up there. You want to get to a point, I want to say now we're kind of looking at like a 9-minute mark for that point where Sicilian can just start spamming. Ooh, goes in. Demonic Force. Dez has to get out with the quad shadows. Down to 10% on the Lord. Coming back into death. Finds himself some damage to reset on the turtle. How finds a kill onto Kush. Shadow kill is out. Ashley in trouble. Using that revitalize, but it's not enough. Down she goes. Dez is able to get the turtle. Yato cleans it up as Dez finds a kill onto Melon. Merciless next on the list. Yato being chased down. Is Song going to be able to secure it? Super Catch chasing, looking for this final kill, and secures it. 4-8. Team Ego on a roll.
On a roll, able to turn that into their favor. Able to take the turtle as well. Yato opted in on taking the AOG as his choice for an ultimate. Dez in the 1v1 because these two have been battling it out.
Dez both of these guys are trading ultimates, and it's doing just under a quarter, leaving under a quarter of health left for them. They're going to get to a point at mid-game where they're going to be able to catch each other, and their ultimates are going to be able to wipe out all their health. They're just not at that point yet. Look at Team Ego on the map, setting the precedence right now, starting to make room, starting to get those objectives.
Yeah, able to take the tier 1 turret on the top side to open the map in their favor. 2 turtles, though, for the side of Vendetta when it comes to the neutral jungle objectives. Vendetta is still able to outshine, but the team fight's definitely starting to weigh over to the side of Team Ego. You're looking at about a 1,000 gold lead. Nothing too out of the ordinary so far. Glowing Wand picked up by the Sicilian is going to have that Life Bane. Is going to be able to have that additional burn as well upon contact with those skills. So you will have to watch out for him, not to mention Super Kesh already sitting 4-0-3, highest kills of the game so far.
Oh, we do have a fist crack going out. That's looking for a little bit of an escape here as oh, in comes Dez! Finds a kill onto Merciless. Shallow kill is out, dropping the rest of Vendetta dangerously low. Super Cash is 4-0-4. Dez has 3 kills of his own. I mean, they're doing such a great job right now, especially with the 9 kills that they have, looking to secure this mid tower.
Yes, the Lord spawns in. Kush willing to test the waters again with Dez.
Yeah, and pushed Kush out just enough. Looks like they might actually be able to. Ooh, Death comes in, trying to go ahead with the kill. Kush comes in for the steal and gets away like a thief in the night.
Oh my goodness, somebody put this man on trial because he is guilty. Able to take that Lord, that Grand Theft Lord at its finest. Kush able to get the job done. A little unfortunate for Team Ego, who's built such a great advantage in the early phase.
Always be ready. It's one of those things you've learned in rank. Always be ready for the retribution. And you can see there Kush showing exactly why. Even with Death trying to push him away, keeping him back, he still dashes in, finds the retribution under Dez's noses, and finds the escape. And this could be the turnaround that Vendetta needed to put the momentum at their heels.
Hey, that's the beat of the Flash right there at its finest. Blade of Despair picked up by Dez to have some heavy physical damage. Glorious Pathway on the way.
Oh, no, and then now they're going to go ahead and put the damage on to that second tier 2 high tower. Looking to try to put down this damage. Oh, Dez finds a kill onto Kush. Finally starting to find the advantage in some of these plays away from the team with some of that split pushing. And that might mean that we need somebody else. And that might make a threat for the side of Vendetta. Now you cannot just send Kush up there to try to get some of these split pushing, because you can see now that Desh is at a power spike where he's going to be able to one-shot him.
And now it's going to be a battle of the tier 1 turrets in the mid lane. That's really what's going to open up this map for either side, and that's going to be a high value target. Holy Crystal picked up over there by How 1 to be able to have a lot of that magic power. As you already see both teams duking it out.
Ooh, tower is down. Merciless finds a kill on the How. Melon finds one on the Death. Team Eagle running for the hills as Melon finds another kill. Cat is down as well. It is just Dez alone against the rest of the team. Kush comes in. Dez gonna have to use that quad channels. Electrifying Beats is out. Dez has nowhere to run. Looking for the fourth, using the shadow kill. He doesn't have another quad shadow, and that is a full team wipe for Vendetta.
Another team wipe now. The red carpet being rolled out. And a base crystal standing in their way with Death.
Yeah, Death coming in there now. I mean, this is unfortunate for Team Ego. They had the advantage, a small mistake. And that's all it sometimes takes here, is a small mistake. They gave Vendetta the advantage, and now they are on their back foot with a pathway down the middle of the map into their base. Yeah,
right now, with the base being opened, an opportunity for Vendetta to possibly close out this game, as we are moments away from the Lord spawning in. Divine Glaive picked up by Super Kesh. He's going to have a lot of that magic pin to work in his favor, especially on the Sicilian. It's just been a hot prospect in today's match so far. Vendetta needing to find a way to get back to Super Kesh to shut him out.
Oh, How uses that Zaman Force, taken down very low, uses the flicker into the back line. Kush finds himself the kill. Melon finds another kill of his own, and down goes a Des. Kush gets taken down, but Melon is on a roll right now. 6, 1, and 6, putting the kill lead 13-11.
Super Kesh all by himself on this amazing Sicilian, which would have been possibly an MVP. Going in for the close.
Oh, damage is done onto him. The Frighten is on. Ashley goes into the back line, and Kesh, even Kesh, not able to withstand the 5-man assault on his base. Vendetta with a game over Team Ego.
You don't outrun vengeance, you suffer it. So Vendetta able to claim what's theirs up against Team Ego for game number 1. You can see the excitement from the team members over there from Vendetta's side. Team Ego, they were looking good, but a couple of mistakes was very costly. A very, I would say, even game almost in terms of kills, but it just boiled down to a couple of misplays toward that mid game, which made the difference. Jumping into the next match, we'll definitely have to see a little bit better of a defensive posture toward that mid game to not allow Vendetta to push on forward. But man, what a game.
Yeah, and it all just came down to a little mistake. Death went back, just was not able to control the joy, not able to create that distance, and then it just became kind of a 50-50. Kush was able to dash in, get the retribution. That turned the tides, allowed the Lord onto the side of Vendetta. Ego lost, I want to say, a decent amount of towers there, lost their advantage, lost their mid, and that's where it really hurt them. When you lose your mid towers, like we've talked about to ad nauseum here, the mid towers delegate how wide open this map, how far you can retreat, and that is what really cost Team Ego.
Yeah, I mean, you nailed it right on the coffin, right? It was a battle tug of war between those tier 1 turrets toward that end, and that just shows you how impactful those can be throughout the entirety of the game. And so a well-fought victory for the side of Vendetta to give them an opportunity to go for match point up against Team Ego. There are some things going right for Team Ego, though. Don't want to count them out just yet. I feel like those mistakes that we've seen in game number 1 can definitely be fixed by game number 2. I think I liked a lot of the things that were picked out there. I mean, it was some great placements by Song on the Katat with the AOGs. We got to see Dez going there, a little aggressive on him and Kush, man. I don't know what beef they got going on behind the scenes, but man, is it good to watch.
Yeah, I want to say two heroes, two guys that absolutely knew what they needed to do, especially when it comes to the split pushing. And that's the unfortunate thing. I feel like maybe this could have turned around. This was not like a flounder for Team Ego. It's just an unfortunate turn of events where a 50-50 trade went over to Vendetta. It could have gone to either one. I feel like if that would have gone to Team Ego, they very cleanly could have won this, especially with how much they had in their favor. It just kind of comes down to being able, if you give up the joy, are you going to be able to control her? But dang, I mean, he tried. It's very hard, and she is very slippery.
And it's a little ironic seeing when we talk about Kush and we talk about Dez, both of these players. Dez, he used to be a former sub for the Valley in prior NACT, and then we also see Kush, he was a former member of several teams in NACT, even BTK at a moment. So to be able to see these two fighting it out is definitely an honor. And I think game number 1 definitely had a lot of key moments that led toward victory for the side of Vendetta, but a lot went right on both sides. It was definitely a bloodbath every way.
Yeah, and as we see here, after some of those engagements, I mean, some of these early ones kind of went to Team Ego. It just kind of came down to that one retribution here. As we see Turtle Swanning here. I believe it was the Lord up at top. That was the first one here. Ashley got in trouble, got pulled a little too deep into enemy territory, taken down. And this was still, Team Ego was doing such a great job for a lot of these engagements. Dez coming in with that shadow kill as well. And this kind of turned the moment for them. You see Kush up at the top, able to get around Death on that Badang. And then it was all Vendetta from there on. Yeah,
and this was the push in the mid lane. Able to get that shutdown, that triple kill, and then push on forward. And this is where you start to see Vendetta come alive, and the whole team just getting wiped out. Dez included right there at the last second. I love how the Turtle and the Lord, they're getting a lot of this highlight action.
Yeah, and that final push there, Kesh, the North America's greatest mage, not able to stop the onslaught of Vendetta. We're going to see what, and this is it too. I feel like we can get a decent little bit of a little bit of a change maybe to the composition. Maybe don't let Joy through, and it could very easily go over to Team Ego. And I don't think it's going to be as clean of a game as we originally thought.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I feel like this is one of the closer series we've seen so far. It's not as one-sided or dominant as the previous matches. I feel like both of these teams are moving at a fast pace, but I've seen mistakes from both sides, right? We see a couple of missteps from Ashley rushing in, trying to get those plays with the high-lows, with the team being a little too far back to be able to properly engage when she goes in for those sets. But on the opposite side, you see the overall just objectives being lost from the side of Team Ego, and a lot of them falling like dominoes when that pressure starts to build up. And so hopefully for game number 2, like I said, this is our final series of the day, Private. I need one, all right? We need one series to go the distance.
Yeah, we take another look at the roster here, and we've talked about it, like all names that North America should know, especially from NACT. Merciless, Kush, Yato, T will be T and Melon. And looks like we're going to be changing up the roster just a bit for Vendetta.
Yeah, it looks like Ashley will be subbed out. T will be stepping in for this one. I guess both of them are trying to get put on that highlight package for the MLBB NH channel. But, I mean, Vendetta, they got a victory right there. They're up 1. It's match point. A chance for them to possibly close this out and claim that final seat into the top 4.
Yeah, and I as much as I was saying, like, kind of even, T has, I want to say, a decent amount, a little bit more experience than Ashley when it comes to some of those live stage experience, things like that. Hopefully, I want to say Team Ego is prepared for this change out and understands what they need to be doing. It could be completely different games here coming out from Vendetta, especially that we're going to have that change out with the roam. Roams, especially when you have some great roams, make such a difference in the game when it comes to some of the ways to secure the objective, get that information to your team, get that great vision. As we start here into our second, possibly last series, or possibly last game of the series.
You know, this NACT, like we mentioned, it has such a high talent pool, and even subs, they're pulling in big guns, right? They're not just pulling in anybody, and that's the amazing thing to be able to see. I mean, what, T's coming in? Like, we've seen T. T's been on the BTK, you know? So it's like, this is massive to be able to see these members sitting as a sub on the backup, just in case. So we'll have to see just what impact that has. I mean, is it a wise decision to switch when you're already 1 game up? We'll have to see. You know, it just really depends. I'm sure they have a game plan, and I can't wait to see how that plays out. But nonetheless, I want to say between these two teams, this has to be the more closer, or probably the most closest series we've seen so far today.
Yeah, and it looks like Vendetta kind of sticking with that Kimmy priority ban out there as well. Glue comes off the board, and I'm wondering if this last one's going to be aimed at Kesh again, where they take out the Lu Yi, or maybe let it slip through. It's something that Team Ego needs to be considering about too. Do you want to let the Joy out again when you saw what it did and you had a plan against it? You just weren't able, and I want to say she wasn't doing the greatest job of like trying to get some of the kills before the advantage kind of went to Vendetta, but they weren't able to control the Joy during a lot of these objective fights, and that's something that needs to be on your mind when it comes to this next draft.
It's funny because Kush, he's the kind of player that'll literally like press his limits. Like, he likes just doing some crazy off the wall plays. I used to like play against him in ranked and like on casual plays, and this dude, he's so competitive, man. You gotta love to see it. And I mean, there's a lot of talk about him being a top possible jungler that people are sleeping on, and this is his chance to prove to the world that he got what it takes. We see Nasty Wayne stepping into the scene. You know, we're seeing Kush starting to really have a heavy impact in that jungle position as well. There was a time where he was just a sub, but now taking main roster junglers and performing really well is a sight to see.
And that's been something, I want to say Kush is another one of those. All of these people on Vendetta have long histories in North America, Kush being one of the longest ones as well. And I want to say for a while in North America, he was kind of cursed with the bench warmer spot on a lot of teams. Like, he was good enough to play on the teams, just not at the starting roster. And it's great to see him finally starting, finally able to spread his wings and not really be overshadowed here. and did such a great job in the last game, especially the type of mechanics it needs to be to play a Joy, get those dashes in, steal the Lord, get out of the way. It absolutely, I want to say, turned around that game for Vendetta in the last one. Here, I want to say a lot of mobility on the side of Team Ego. Did they make another mistake here by getting that Matilda and Harith here early? We'll see if Vendetta maybe goes with that Esmeralda pickup we've been seeing.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we know a lot of other teams would definitely slot that Esmeralda here. A lot of magic would be on their side, but I would say the Esmeralda could be good, especially still up those shields. They are going to pick up this Assassin. This is the second Hayabusa pickup from Team Ego. Seems like Dez is trying to lock in on that Haya as soon as possible. The Franco! Maybe this is an answer to the Quad Shadow? He's trying to stop him before using that Ouija Shadow kill for the retry plays?
It ensures that whoever... You've got a lot of heroes here that can dive through your team and then try to get away. I want to say this ensures that whoever dives into your team is not going anywhere. They're going to get locked down and placed down, and for the rest of the team to be able to put some damage onto. It's going to be very interesting because there's a lot of targets for that. You catch one, then you still have to deal with the rest of the team too. And if it's somebody like a Harith, if it's the Hayabusa, Matilda can still come in with the Circling Eagle and interrupt your ultimate from Franco. So
yeah, it is something interesting to watch, and I can't wait to see how this Franco comes out. This is the debut Franco on top of that to be able to see in the spring season. So at least maybe not in the qualifiers, but inside of the actual playoffs. As we are seeing some of the bans on the board, the Beatrix being taken off the table. We do know the Harith is in the mix. We've seen a couple of options like the Claude being picked up. We've seen the carry be slotted. I don't think the carry would be the wisest decision here, considering you do have a Hayabusa. Maybe something like a Claude could be a viable option, just because you want to have a little bit more mobility to be able to escape into the back line. Yeah, we'll have to see how that plays out.
Yeah, one thing we're going to need to watch out for is that early game. I want to say Matilda's going to need to make sure that they're kind of checking those bushes, making sure that Dez isn't really getting engaged on. You got Franco who can try to hook your buff. There's the potential of them picking up something in the XP lane. A Hilda possibly that could kind of come in there, start harassing Dez. There's a lot of issues that can kind of come out here that we really haven't addressed. There's the Lu Yi ban out from Vendetta, very interesting, and the carry ban. So big focus on the marksman lane coming out from Team Ego.
Yeah, we'll have to see just where this goes. We have the Valentina picked up for the side of Vendetta. We don't know what mage will go in for the side of Team Ego. Farza could be a viable option, but then you have to worry about this Valentina taking that feathered airstrike, and I wonder if that's a gamble that the side of Team Ego wants to take here. I mean, they could go in for the Sicilian. I mean, it could be an option. You could stay in the back. Gotta watch out for those iron hooks from Franco, though, for sure. But I mean, hey, at least you're a little bit further, so you don't have to worry about the bloody hunt. But right now we're seeing some mobility working on both sides, right? You have the Hayabusa with the Quad Shadow. You have the Joy. This is the same song and dance that we've seen in game number 1 between Kush and Des.
Yeah, the interesting thing here is, are we going to be able to lock down or give enough room for Dez to be able to get some of these objectives? We saw from last game, they tried to zone out the team. Kush is just so slippery, so skilled on that Joy, able to kind of very well maneuver around. And this time, I want to say they don't have that huge amount of CC in the name of Bedang. They do have I want to say the Guiding Winds, which is going to be able to keep them topped off and be able to help them reposition. So it's going to be very interesting to see how this match differs. Oh, and there's the Esmeralda pick that we were talking about, the big counter for the Matilda, for the Harith right now.
And can sustain the Hayabusa's Ouija Shadow kill, so it kind of has a little bit of a triple effect. Not to mention it can close the distance on the Sicilian with the Falling Star Moon. This is a really big counter. When you really think about it, you can go down the rabbit hole all day. But something interesting that stands out to me as well, which is a debut pick today for this series as well, is the Brody being picked up, right? The Brody has had a massive buff. It's definitely starting to hit a lot harder. I feel like it's underrated. And with this composition, I think it works out really well because you have the Hayabusa who's going to rush in with the Quad Shadow, and you have that stun in your kit to be able to expand that distance and try and flicker back to safety. And speaking of safety, No safe zones in the land of Dawn today as we are jumping into our final series of the day in a match point. Team Ego going up against Vendetta. Vendetta up 1-0.
Yeah, last series of the night, possibly last match of the night as well. It's all dependent on how Team Ego can deal with Team Vendetta right now. Very interesting picks coming from Vendetta, a little outside the box. We don't see Franco too often. Oh, Dez already getting a little bit interrupted here. Merciless in their jungle, trying to chase him down. Death looking to secure his escape.
Yeah, I'm keeping a close eye on T. I mean, he did just sub in for Ashley. We got to see how much of an impact he has stepping into that roam position and Ashley subbing out, and wondering if that's the right decision here. This could be something for Team Ego to lean in on.
Ooh, yeah, you see Song doing a good job with the protection of Dez there, but man, Vendetta's already a big focus on enemy territory, trying to get into their jungle, trying to refuse them minions here.
Yeah, and right now, I mean, something that stood out between both these teams is they were very close when it came to fighting it out back and forth throughout the entire match, and it really boiled down to that tier 1 turret in the mid lane, which really made the difference, and Vendetta was able to kind of push through and find that victory. So we'll have to see how this kind of plays out, especially on these first neutral objective plays. Kush has done a great job on finding a way into the jungle to be able to get those retries.
Yeah, right now, and I want to say Dez just got his ultimate. Death doesn't. Nobody else has their ultimate just yet, except for Kush and Dez. Turtle has a spawn, and they're looking to kind of get those up as this engagement comes out. Merciless doing a good job zoning out 3 members, going deep into enemy territory onto Dez to become quite a nuisance, and he uses his retribution. Shadow kill comes out, but is not enough to take out Merciless. That helps Vendetta secure the first turtle.
And baits out 2 ultimates, the AOG and the Ouija Shadow kill. And this is why we talked about the Esmeralda being a counter for majority of the members on that team. You can't catch them with the AOG. The Ouija Shadow kill is not enough because you have the additional shielding, and you can harass and be a fly on the wall in every part of the enemy jungle, and Dez will have to find an answer for that.
Oh, big hook catches the small minion. Oh, T just narrowly missed the actual big minion, and it's not taken into the bush. Kush sees it, goes in, and is able to steal it away from Dez.
Hey, he's a greedy boy. You know, he's going to eat everything on the table. If you leave it there, you better watch your plate. And right now, both sides fighting it out. Bloody Hunt.
Yeah, lands on the Song, onto that. Matilda is trying to blast himself away, gets caught up by Yato. In comes Dez, looking for the shadow kill. 3 members in there to split up the damage. Dez has to find himself a quad shadow to escape. Death, on the other hand, here, trying to put some damage onto Merciless, is not going to be able to put enough to even really put a blemish on Merciless just yet.
Yeah, but Yato will pick up the kill on the Song. T will fall, and that will be Super Kesh picking that one up for the side of Team Ego, putting 1 on the board for both sides.
Oh, Quad Shadows come in. 4 members in the enemy territory. Vendetta right now is not letting up. Kush goes deep into there, looking for the electrifying beats, finds the kill onto Dez. We do have a circling Ego avatar. The Guardian slams down, lands onto Merciless, who's still using those abilities. Song gets caught by a hook, and Yato finishes the job. On the back end, suppression onto How. 3 members of Vendetta looking to find the kill there, and a big hook lands onto Death right now, who I want to say T is on fire when it comes to those hooks.
Yeah, he got a one-way ticket back to the lobby right there with that kill. And I'll tell you what, nothing's more satisfying than seeing a Franco who can actually land those iron hooks. He's definitely on point so far for the side of Vendetta. T subbing out for Ashley and having a good impact so far.
Yeah, doing a great job here. 3 of the 4 kills T has assists for. So I want to say rocking possibly like about a 100% activity here when it comes to a lot of these fights. Song in here on the front line trying to ward off Merciless, who's just doing such a great job trying to create that distance. Now Lord down to about 50%, 20%, and a clean take by Kush. In comes the Sanguine Claws. Merciless dives into the back line. Death able to find a kill onto T. Song is down as well. Melon on fire, taking down 2 members. It is now a 3-6 game in favor of of Vendetta.
Man, what a play. Able to find not only the neutral objective, but 2 kills on top of that. 6-3. Vendetta leading the pace for the early phase. Melon taking some hits, hit with the retry.
And doesn't get taken out there, but man, right now, this jungle belongs to Vendetta. Team Ego struggling even to get their own, the small little boss. Merciless has no fear, goes into the entire team of them, knows that if they set off a single ability, it's gonna feed him on that Esmeralda. Oh, a nice little torn apart memories there, catches one. Death is next on the list. Melon finding 2 more kills.
Yeah, able to find even more of an advantage over Team Ego. They're climbing up that ladder, and it doesn't look like they plan on getting off anytime soon, as you are looking at them now leading the way by 4,000 gold at the 6-minute mark. Blade of Despair picked up over there by the Brody, which means he's going to have some additional damage when he decides to initiate initially when it comes to these engagements, and you have to watch out for that. Hunter Strike, though, picked up from Dez, so he will have some additional damage himself to need to look out for. But right now, Melon, he's on fire. He's 4-0-0. Highest kills in the game.
Yeah, doing a great job carrying the team, and I want to say the rest of the team. The pressure that they put on to Dez ensures that he's so far behind that he's not even able to match up Kush into this split laning push like he was in the first game, where he was kind of, him and Kush were kind of on even territory, had the same amount of gold, both trying to ult each other, neither of them able to find the advantage. But here, right now, Dez has such a gold deficit compared to Kush that he's not even able to match the split push, and they're stuck responding to Vendetta instead of trying to match their pace. They are going to be able to fight in the top tower, but they're going to lose a tier 2 at bottom.
Yeah, we'll lose that tier 2. Melon able to claim turret. How will respond back, finding one of his own on the top side, but stripped down to their inhibitor for the bot play. Kush need to get away.
Shadow kill comes out. Kush dives into his teammates so that the damage spreads to everybody, negating some of it from himself. Melon in a little bit of trouble, trying to put some damage onto this tower. Death comes in. Is it going to be enough? You can see on the backside, Merciless looking to get an escape, but gets taken down by Des. They are able to finally put Merciless down, but there's no more ultimates left on the side of Team Ego.
We're seeing a lot of pressure from Vendetta, inching their way up the map, continuously pushing through these turrets, only losing 1 on the top side, but claiming 4 of Team Ego's. And this is where they start to struggle, right? It's the overall map awareness and maintaining their lanes is where they start to fall short. But they have Super Kesh. He is on the Sicilian. Not the hottest game, not like game number 1 for sure. But it is promising if they can delay this to close to that, I would say about 12-minute mark, 12 to 13-minute mark. That's when he can really start to have a heavy impact.
Yeah, the problem here is they're waiting too long at some of these engagements. They're not going to be able to find an engagement that's going to favor them. Melon coming in, finds a kill as Merciless finds one of his own. Kills all around for Vendetta. 3 down on the side of Team Ego. They just lingered too long at bottom lane without minions, and that's the unfortunate thing. Like, especially when you're this far behind, you don't want engagements, you don't want team fights, you want to try to push the lane and leave. And unfortunately for Team Ego, they lingered a little bit too long. Dez might be in a little bit of trouble here. Gets caught. And Shadow kill is out. Is he going to be able to get away? Yato's right there to find the kill.
Man, folding him like a napkin at a dinner table. What a play over there from Vendetta. Melon able to take the tier 2 turret and the Iron Hook.
Oh man, T has been surgical when it comes to these iron hooks, landing the damage there. We talked about it. Melon finds a kill onto Cash. Death might be next on the list. Has his revitalize. How comes in, trying to put some damage, gets caught by Merciless. And this is what we were talking about. That Esmeralda counter is doing work to Team Ego.
Yeah, right now in a very rough situation, right? I mean, you got a Lord on the bot side marching towards your base and a massive lead. It's over 10K. It's an 11K gold lead, 16-4. We are just now passing that 10-minute mark. Everybody getting a piece of this cake for the side of Vendetta. 7-0-3 for Melon. Well ahead of How 1 with this Harith, about 3,000 gold ahead.
Yeah, and I feel like instead of those two marksman bands, Esmeralda probably should have been one of them for that second part of the draft. But I mean, hindsight is 2020. We're sitting at the casting table, so it probably wasn't as easy of a decision. But I mean, who knew that Merciless would be having such a great game? 3-1-7 right now, helping Melon to get some of those opportunities. He needs to be at 7-0-3. Now pushing their way in. The two high ground towers are down. Minions forcing their way down at bottom. Death doing the best he can to try to tank out this front roll, but I feel like we're just one hook away from watching this thing flip on us. More damage up at the top. All high grounds are down right now. The core is exposed. Minions coming. Hook lands. Big suppression. Kush gets caught. Yato puts him down. AOG is out to get Yato out of harm's way. Death tries to go in. Merciless finds a kill onto Song. Death is down. It's just how and Dez. Is it going to be enough? Can they clear this out? They're looking for the opportunity. Get another kill. Dez is not long for this world, and this is going to be a clean sweep for Vendetta.
They waited, they planned, and they executed. Vendetta able to move on forward in the final series, claiming a spot in the top 4, shutting down Team Ego.
Yeah, a great game there for Vendetta. The counters were out there. A great job when it came. Merciless with the great pick of the Esmeralda. We talked about it as soon as we saw the Harith, as soon as we saw the Matilda. I would love to say it came from my own knowledge of the game, but we saw this in an earlier series here where Matilda and Harith were picked up very quickly, and unfortunately, it was countered out very quickly by the Esmeralda. And the thing here, the crux of it, is Vendetta was allowed to get this pick because it wasn't banned out in the second phase. And here, I mean, they did such a great job. And not just the Esmeralda. Kush did a great job. Melon, you can see there, 9-0-6. And then T, dusting his pants off, getting off of that bench, coming in and landing so many hooks. You see there, 20 assists on Franco for a 21 game.
Man, I think T got subbed in because he wanted to go fishing. That's definitely what we were seeing today, especially at that last play with the flicker in and the iron hook and the bloody hunt combination. Well executed, cool, calm, collective from Vendetta, and a little homage for those who don't know a little bit of lore behind the NACT. Vendetta was in our very first NACT. They were supposed to go to the grand finals, but they ended up being the Simpsons to take their place against BTK. So to be able to see that name come back into the competitive scene yet again and make it to top 4 is definitely a sight to see.
Yeah, and that was unfortunate for the first NACT because we had a lot of guys that just were not of age to be competing when it comes to like traveling in the U.S. But now all of them of age and looking for a little bit of a possible revenge, trying to maybe get themselves a little bit of a rematch here with the example here set against Team Ego.
Man, Private, these teams have been setting the tone for North America. We got some great competition between these top teams in NA. I mean, today has been full of some bangers so far, and to be able to see Vendetta move on forward, Team Ego, a little unfortunate for all those fans out there who are rooting for them. I can't wait to see what they bring to the table in the next NACT season. But yeah, today's the story of Vendetta moving on forward. Another possible super team in the making.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting here. I mean, Vendetta, a great job. Team Ego even did a great job. That first match, they had a little bit, like I said, we've talked about it before. Draft is so important at this level of NACT. If you lose the draft, it doesn't matter how skilled you are, you're going to have issues here. And that second game was definitely showing a little bit of out-drafting there by Vendetta. First game was a lot closer for Team Ego, just narrowly lost by the side of Team Ego because of a 50-50 stolen Lord and Retribution there. But a great game played by both competitors.
A great game indeed, and we know the higher you get on that ladder, the colder it gets, and only the toughest can survive, and that's what we're going to see as we see the top 4 teams progress, and that's our final series, man. I've got to say, it's been a lot of surprises today as we take a look at the highlight package from the final series.
Yeah, and this is just speaking mounds about it. From the get-go, Vendetta was all over enemy territory. There was nothing that they could do to protect it. The Matilda, the Harith, as soon as the Esmeralda crossed into there, if any of them used any of their abilities, all it would do was feed Esmeralda. Not just that, but you had the consistent threat of T landing a hook on you, bringing you back, getting that suppression, and shutting you down. This was just, a clinical game for the side of Vendetta.
Yeah, definitely surgical precision. I would say some heart surgery right there, as I know their hearts are pumping, able to claim that victory. And what a game, right? I mean, you get to see Dez. I'm proud to see him make it this far. I look forward to seeing where they go in the NACT. I know this is not the end for him. I mean, like we said, he started as a sub. Definitely streaming out there on YouTube, and his team has been progressing, and they've made their mark as a top 8 team in the NA, and that's an achievement all by itself for Vendetta. Like we said, a lot of homage, an old name rising from the ashes and spreading its wings, a brand new phoenix for the NACT spring season, and the final seat of top 4 has been claimed.
Yeah, and that's the one thing I really want to harp on too. The win or lose here, the key thing here in North America, if you want to set yourself apart from almost any of the teams here, is consistency. Sure, you may not have made it all the way in NACT, but that just means you need to work a little harder next season. That doesn't mean that we need to kind of go at each other's throats, maybe change team members. I see that so often when all it's going to take is just a little bit more practice, consistency to try to get there, and understanding the little mistakes that you made here. Hopefully, that's not the last that we see of a Team Ego. Hopefully, that's not the last that we see of any of the people that have exited the stage here tonight.
And speaking of the stage, going to expand that welcome over to our amazing host, Liz, to kind of talk about what we've seen in the last series and overall NACT for today's show.
Yeah, good to be back. Unfortunately, last series didn't bring Wheezy his go to the distance, but still a wonderful series. And I'm glad to see a lot of the usual pick and bans coming back with Esmeralda countering Harith, something that we haven't seen for many seasons. But I'm happy to have these heroes back and to see the teams perform good on them.
Yeah, it's definitely a treat to see the crawl back of Esmeralda, and it's been very effective today. I don't think we're going to see that as often as we push on forward into the top 4, but it's definitely a sight to see.
Yeah, they're very exciting. We've talked about the drafts and how much that they can affect us on a lot of these teams. And even a top bracket, a little bit of unexpected people coming forward and rising through some of the smoke, and we're going to see maybe tomorrow might hold more of that. But tonight, it was like I said, this was a very heartbreaking first round. One of the most, a lot of big names in there, one chance, and unfortunately, some of them aren't able to proceed. Very happy to see the ones that did, and very excited to see what the future holds.
Yeah, absolutely. And from that matchup, guys, who do you think is the MVP from that? I want to hear from you guys, but let's take a look at what our team picked for the MVP. Seems like it's going to be Melon. What do you guys think?
Oh, man, we got to put some respect on that Franco. There's nothing like a good... all right, I'm not going to finish that, but the iron hooks were on point over there from T. I think he definitely shined and created a lot of that opportunity. But Melon did a great job. I mean, he was flawless, right? 9-0 and 6. He was definitely at the kill participations up there as well. Not to mention, I mean, he's definitely been hitting the gym.
Yeah, I definitely, because Melon just had such great games there, enabled by his team there. Like I said, we would have gone probably looked a little bit at the Franco if it weren't for him only having one game. But Melon there, both games, and very consistent in both of his games there. Just took a little bit of time. His Brody popped off a lot earlier than he did in the first game, but I mean, definitely. When it comes to top marksman in North America, Melon's name has always been in consistent mention, so it's no surprise to see him up there as the MVP.
Yeah, one of the most consistent marksmen, a rising star in the NACT, and he really got to shine this season. Now, an interview is ready for the team, and we have Yato joining us. What's up, Yato? Congratulations.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. Thank you.
It was an amazing performance from your team. Now, we did hear from BTK earlier that they are hyping up the mage for Team Eagle. So, who do you think is a better mage, Super Cash or Hoon or you?
Between Kesh and Hoon, definitely Hoon. But as for the other three, I guess we'll tell tomorrow.
Between Hoon and you, we'll tell tomorrow. I like it. Now we saw T jump in from the second game, and you get to kind of pair up against your old teammate T. Who do you think is a better roam, Ashley or T?
Of course T, because we've been playing with him for so long. Or I've been playing with him for so long.
And are you impressed by his hook?
Yes, of course. That's probably his best hero.
Yeah, his godly hooks, and we're excited to see if he pulls that out tomorrow. Now, you are facing up against BTK tomorrow. Is there anything you want to say to your opponents tomorrow?
Good luck to both of us, I guess. I don't. Yeah, I don't really know what else to say, but I want to thank Ashley though, because she came through. Because game 1, T wasn't able to make it, so I think MWI is around the corner, right? I think her team Rainfall is also playing in it, so go support them, guys.
Yeah, for sure, guys. That is going to be happening next week, so make sure you guys support all the teams next week. Now, last question for Yato before we let you go. What do you think is the weak link for BTK that might give your team an advantage tomorrow?
I'm not sure. Maybe. Yeah. I'm not sure. I guess we'll tell tomorrow. I don't have an answer for that.
Oh, maybe. Maybe it's the better mage. So I guess we will find out tomorrow. Best of luck for you guys tomorrow. You guys are gonna do great, and we're so excited to see you perform.
All right, thank you, Liz.